Thanks, Karine. On Friday, you said there were no plans of going to Congress for any legislative changes to the IRA for France and Europe. Over the weekend, there were some French officials who said that one way of making the tweaks that President Biden proposed to the IRA was through executive orders, and we're wondering if the administration has already started working on certain EOs, or if you're planning to work on them going forward. Can you offer any specifics?
So there's two things. The first thing is the president was clear that there are ways that we can address Europe's concerns, right? The concerns that they actually have. This is a matter we are working through substantive consultation with our European counterparts. We don't want to get ahead of that process, but we're going to have those conversations and find ways to, again, address their concerns. I was speaking to specifically like glitches that might be that we have heard about, in particular in this particular piece of this law now. And so what I was saying, no, we don't have plans to go back to Congress on that. But when it comes to their concerns, of course, we're going to have conversations with our European allies.
And specifically on that, I mean, the administration did say during the French president's visit that that it had worked on overcoming French objections to whatever it is that they were talking about with respect to the IRA. But the administration has, again, of course, not released any specifics on that. And I know you're talking about having future conversations with them. But could you talk about the work that has gone in so far?
So, not going to get into specifics. Again, we want to have this conversation. There's a process that's happening. Don't want to get ahead of that. But I also just want to say, and you've heard us say this many times, the Inflation Reduction Act was a historic piece of legislation. It's going to help Americans, millions of Americans across the country, as we talk about lowering cost, as we talk about really attacking the number one priority when you think about the economy for the president, which is lowering costs on health care, lowering costs on energy, doing that historic investment on fighting climate change. So this is something that the president is very proud of, and it's going to really, truly change lives. When it comes to the concerns of our European partners and allies, certainly we're going to do our best to have those conversations, but I'm just not going to get ahead of the process that's currently happening.